So making a deer fence for a garden. We're setting up our garden right now, and we need an 8-foot tall deer fence so the deer can't get in there and eat all our vegetables. It has to be at least 8 feet from what I read around here, because apparently deer can theoretically jump that high, but they're not really going to take the risk to do that. So I've read that some people have had 6 and 7 foot fences, a lot of success with those in the area, but I have a lot of lumber that I can mill myself, so I'm just going to make it. I'm making 11-foot posts to go 3 feet in the ground and 8 feet up. So I just milled up a whole bunch of 8-foot 5x5, or sorry, 11-foot 5x5s, and now I'm on to the second log I got here. Unfortunately, this one is going to fall about 18 inches shy of that, because I found some barbed wire in the butt of this log and I had to cut it away. What I also found when I cut it away is a 36-inch deep void of rot in the center, so it's a little bit off the center. So that's going to significantly change how I mill this log up. I was just going to get 5x5s out of it, but now I think for the top portion I'm going to have to do smaller lumber, use it for something else that's shorter, and for the bottom portion I'm gonna go more for the 5x5s. I'm probably going to have to add an extension on the tops of these, because these are only going to be 9.5 feet long, give or take. So 3 feet in the ground will be 6.5 feet high. So I'll just put some extensions on the top of these posts I get out of this log. This log is about the biggest you could possibly put on this sawmill. As you can see, I was trimming, well, not that, but on the other side I trimmed off a bunch of the flare at the base of the log to get it trimmed to approximate size to fit in here, and now it fits to here, but I'm still having a problem up here where it's hitting, so I'm going to have to trim some of this off. Let me pull this forward and show you. Okay, so you'll see that I'm going to hit right around here with this bar. Or wait a minute. Looks like I'm hitting somewhere else. Oh, yeah. I'm hitting the blade. So I'm going to trim away a little bit of this right here so this comes through, and then I'm going to take my first cut. So I've never taken the mill up this high before, because I've never had a log this big on the mill. So apparently I've gone all the way up, and now this side of the power head is stuck and won't come back down. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to pry it a little bit. It's loose on this side right now. That's not gonna do it. Came down a little bit. There, it's coming down. Jeez. That's not supposed to happen. Alright, so I'm just going to take a few skinny boards off the top here until we get down to this rotted area. Alright, I've gotten as many good boards as I can get off the top of this log here. You can see how it's all rotted out. There's a big ant colony in there. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to turn the log 90 degrees so it sits up against the dogs on that side that you can see up right there. And then I'm gonna slice off this side now and start making a cant. I'm gonna leave all this rot there for the time being. And I'll just deal with that once I'm down to the cant. Now you can see, I got some good boards. Got about, what is this, like 5 boards. 3 of them are fine, and then the last 2 are a little bit messed up. I'll find a use for them somewhere for something. All right, let's get on with it. All right, so I have most of a cant here. I got one edge that's not straight edge. It's a live natural edge still. Because my plan here is to cut 5x5s out of this. Now, let me measure a 5x5 real quick. It's about there. Give or take that. I'm gonna cut a 5-inch thick slab out of this cant right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing again right here. 5-inch, you know, give or take. Right? So I'm going to cut these 2 5-inch thick slabs. Then I'm going to, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this. I have to see what the rest of the log looks like after I, you know, isolate the rot here. I might take a few boards out of what's left down here if the rest of the log, if enough of the length of the log is good. But the important thing for the 5x5s here are these 2 slabs. I'm going to take these off, and then I'm going to turn them vertically, and I'm going to cut this live edge off, and then I'm going to cut 1, 2, so I'm going to have 2 cuts, and I'm going to end up with, well, hang on a second. See how long and wide this is. This is 20 inches. So I can actually make a cut there, 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 and there. Basically, like looking like about like this. And one right there. For the most part, these 5x5s might have a little bit of the natural edge of the tree, but that's all right. I can live with that. But I can end up with 8 5x5s here, and that's great. So I'm going to cut these 2 slabs, turn them 90 degrees vertical, and then I'm going to cut the 5x5s out. All right, so you can see here I started taking some 1.5 inch thick boards off the top of this, the remaining cant. And that rot is really, you know, getting in there, and it's cracking up the ends of these boards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop taking boards, and I'm going to start cutting. Well, I'm going to start cutting basically 3-inch thick pieces, starting at the next cut. So 3, 3, 3, 3. And then when the boards are all cut, I'm going to cross-cut them down to get rid of all that rot. And then I'm going to flip those over and cut it 3 inches, because I'm going to make a bunch of 3x3s that are about, you know, in this case they'll probably be about 5 feet long from the end to where that rod is. And I need those as skids to, you know, to stack lumber on. So that's going to be my use of the rest of this crappy log here. We're working on the garden right now. So right behind me, you see an area that's got some wood chips down. So basically kind of where I'm standing right now, to the end of the wood chips is the length of the garden. I think we just decided the garden was going to be